Hello and welcome back to Byerwood. My name is Stelio, and on this episode of City Skylines, I'm going to start off by continuing the public housing areas that I've been working on in the past episode, and I'm going to start continuing to move towards the river. So as we get closer to the river, the area cost, the land cost, the housing costs all increase. Wealthier people are going to live closer to the river and further out from the city and the bustling areas of the city and the really dense areas. As we get further out of the city, the more we're going to get to nicer and nicer housing. And I don't mean to sound like that, but the triple decker housing is made for multiple families, multiple residents, whereas the houses that are going to be going in this neighborhood, for example, are all single-family residences. I'm going to be upgrading this to a 6-lane boulevard here, and that is just because it's a really high traffic road there. It's supposed to be a really important road. I'm coming through here and placing some more mills in this industrial area near the train yard, and this is just basically to fill out this area. I don't really know what else to put in this industrial area, so I'm just placing more mills and more, factories. New England cities were famously filled with mills and factories, and there actually a lot of them are being torn down in cities throughout the United States and New England, but there's a lot that haven't been touched yet, and there's still so many standing factories and mills in Worcester, and even though, a majority of them have been torn down and a majority of the smokestacks and all of that have been torn down, there's still remnants and there still are companies that are working there. I'm stripping that high density road out, and this area that I'm building now is going to be the first main suburb of the city. So this is going to be the first suburb area, and you can see the houses here are nicer than all of the houses that I've been placing in the city so far, and they are pretty densely packed next to each other, so I think the really, really high-end neighborhood that I build next will have them spaced a little further apart. That's just because there's no real way to show more wealth besides giving people more land, so the distinction between one neighborhood and another may not be much. It may just be how much more space you have in your yard. So whatever, visual way I can show the different types of neighborhoods is how I'm going to do it. Using roughly 15 or 16 different patterns here, and all these houses are pretty cookie cutter, pretty simple houses. They're not really, there's no personality. Everyone kind of lives in the same house. It's American suburbs. It's all of that. So all the stereotypes about the people that live in this area and all of that are definitely true. And I definitely think that all the stereotypes apply to the people that live in this neighborhood. So this, you can see the area that I'm working in now. These houses are placed a little further apart than the other ones, and they might just only be one tile spaced instead of no spacing. But when you look at it from afar, you can actually tell that, some houses are spaced out further than others. So these properties on this area and this part of the neighborhood are actually a lot bigger, and each person has a little more space in between, each property. You can see a lot of these people have pools. They have a lot of just things, amenities that not everyone has access to, and you have to, have a certain status and a certain amount of money to be able to live in this area and pay for a house in this area. But besides that, I'm just going to be finishing up this episode working on some businesses here and placing some businesses along this road because it's a pretty important road. I would say it's one, besides, the highway and, the main streets and stuff like that. Out of the city and out of the downtown, this is one of the most important roads in the city because it connects so many people to the city, to the highway, and to the rest of the county. But besides that, I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.